So our presentation is Sleepless in St. George, and I'm Abby.
I'm Aubrey.
I'm James.
I'm Cole.
So these are the reasons why we chose sleep deprivation. First of all, being very relevant to students, very overlooked and very interesting topic. The first one means it's very relevant to students because we are students. And so we are always constantly being sleep deprived from staying late to get homework done and to waking up early from school. So we thought it was very relevant.
Most people don't really think that it's as big of an issue to your health that it is, and so like if you tell someone you're sleep deprived, they're just like get over it. So we wanted to know what the real effects are.
We were very interested in this topic, so that's why we decided to research about it, so we can figure it out and maybe even
learn about it ourselves.
Yeah.
You can also click the thing there's an image. Okay, so when you're asleep, you go through 4 distinct stages called the REM cycle. The first 2 are slowing your brain down, like slowing down breathing and brain waves and everything that goes fast in your body, core temperature. And that's to get you ready for the third one, which is deep sleep, which is when your body repairs itself, like physically. And then the 4th cycle is REM sleep, which is when you dream. And also, it's used for memory consolidation, so that keeps you healthy mentally. You also have your circadian rhythm, which is a different cycle that affects how long you are asleep and awake for. So for most people, it's a 24-hour period, most of which is awake, but like 8 or 10 hours is asleep. And it mirrors, you normally wake up with the sunrise and fall asleep when the sun is completely down in the sky. And then doctors and sleep professionals recommend that teenagers get between 8 and 10 hours of sleep, smaller children between 10 and 12, and infants 12 and 14, then adults get between 10 and 8 also.
Okay.
Transition.
Is there a transition? Yes. Okay. So social media goes against sleep. So when you are on screens, blue light is released from the screens and you take it in, which causes delayed in melatonin release, which melatonin is what helps you sleep. So that's not great. Also, what's not great about social media at night that can help you not get sleep is FOMO, because things are constantly going on, like likes and comments that you're wanting to check your phone for. So when it's late at night, it gets hard to not check the phone and wanting to do, which really can harm teens because that's all their life basically on social media, and causes us to stay up late and then you have to get up for school the next morning. So how sleep deprivation is in St. George, Utah. There's actually an article in St. George News that was talking about how it affects teens and their schoolwork and stuff. So it is here too. And solutions to help with this is just making sure you are not on your phone before bed, to make sure that the blue light is not affecting your sleep, because it is not great when you can't get melatonin to sleep. And also to just eliminate the phone in the bedroom at night completely. So if you just set it in a different room, then it can help so that you're not checking your phone at night and you can get sleep. Yeah. Another thing leading to this is school too early. School start times can disrupt the circadian rhythms, which James was talking about, because school actually starts early, but teenagers want to start sleeping later, like past 10, and that means they have to sleep in more, but school starts early, so it makes it hard. So benefits of the later start times for sleep is that teens can sleep according to their natural circadian rhythm, and they can get that more sleep in a way that's healthy for them. It also just helps overall with the work ethic that they see, and what's being done in St. George, Utah. So one of our House of Representatives, the past like, I think it was 4 years ago, she was actually here in Utah, in St. George, getting opinions from St. George, like parents, and they all agreed that they should start later. They were just worried about schedules with what they had going on with childcare and whatnot, but they agreed that all the schools started at a good time. Like here at Dixie High School, it's 8:30, but they did agree that intermediate schools do start too early, but they can't really change it unless they redo the whole bus schedule, so that makes it a little hard. And that's kind of the problems with start times, but overall, if we can get that fixed, it'll be better because then we can go back to sleeping at normal times for teenagers.
Mental health and sleep deprivation, especially mental health, is very important in this day and age. How it affects the brain and how it functions. When you get a lack of sleep, it makes your brain function slower. You can't basically do things you do every day, like answer questions, like your skills, being social with people, it slows that down. And then how it affects you physically is you're just physically more exhausted. You're just gonna want to sleep more, actually, and you just won't be able to function properly the rest of the day or more if you don't get the proper amount of sleep. And then ways to improve, maintaining a sleep schedule, same with the circadian rhythm. If you go to bed, you want to try to go to bed the same time and then wake up around the same time so your body can have a rhythm, so you can get the same amount of sleep every night and not get like 6 hours one night and then 8 hours the next night. No social media with 2 hours, just like the blue light can affect how your brain functions, and if you do it within those 2 hours, your brain won't be able to fall asleep as fast, which will affect your sleep schedule. And then just losing a single hour of sleep actually affects 90% of teens. So gaining just that 1 hour can help improve your physical health, your mental health, and you'll have a better sleep schedule that way.
All right, our local connections, as Abby was talking about earlier, one of our, where are they?
Sources?
No,
What?
Who's the lady?
The House of Representatives.
Yeah, House Rep. One of our representatives has been really advocating for school times in Utah starting later, and so she came down to St. George and got the opinion of a bunch of people down here through surveys and stuff. And then we also have very specific climates in St. George. We're obviously a desert, and that affects sleeping because it's very hot during the day and very dry. And then during night, it cools down. And both of those, because they go so far into the extreme, neither one of them is good for sleep regulation, and the dry air also causes bad sleep and muscle aches and all sorts of nasty stuff. So if you live in St. George, you have a particularly hard time sleeping. That's why.
Sleep deprivation also affects your mind and body. Can damage your memory, and you can be slower at making decisions and impact learning in school because you can be falling asleep in class, and also makes your mind not be able to focus because it's too tired and it's not strong enough to pay attention all day. It also hurts your physical health and like stuff like walking and being aware of your surroundings, which can be bad for driving because there's a lot of stuff you gotta watch out for. And the effects can last just that day because you didn't get a good night's sleep, or it could even last a long time because you don't get good sleep like ever, and so it could affect you just a little bit or even a long time and permanent effects. So what we learned about this was sleep deprivation is overlooked because a lot of people don't admit that it's a problem that they have, and people don't think it's a big of a deal because it's just sleep. But in reality, it's very hurtful to you and others. It affects mental and physical health, like on the last slide. And it also damages society as a whole with education. If we aren't getting enough sleep, we can't learn, and so we can't improve as a society if we don't learn very well. And just overall, sleep affects you more than you think, because it's the most important part of our life when we're sleeping, because it helps your whole body rest and like recover from everything. And yeah, that's what we have to say about sleep deprivation.
Thanks for listening to Sleepless in St. George. Yeah.